You laughed and laughed and laughed, Gabriel Okara. In your ears my song is motor car misfiring, stopping with a choking cough. And you laughed and laughed and laughed. In your eyes my antenatal walk was inhuman, passing your omnivorous understanding, and you laughed and laughed and laughed. You laughed at my song. You laughed at my walk. Then I danced my magic dance to the rhythm of talking drums pleading. But you shut your eyes and laughed and laughed and laughed. And then I opened my mystic inside wide like the sky. Instead you entered your car and laughed and laughed and laughed. You laughed at my dance. You laughed at my inside. You laughed and laughed and laughed. But your laughter was ice block laughter, and it froze your inside, froze your voice, froze your ears, froze your eyes, and froze your tongue. And now it's my turn to laugh. But my laughter is not ice block laughter, for I know not cars, no, not ice blocks. My laughter is the fire of the eye of the sky, the fire of the earth, the fire of the air, the fire of the seas and the rivers, fishes, animals, trees, and it thawed your inside, thawed your voice, thawed your ears, thawed your eyes, and thawed your tongue. So a meek wonder held your shadow, and you whispered, "Why so?" And I answered, "Because my fathers and I are owned by the living warmth of the earth through our naked feet." Vocabulary list. Words basic meaning, in context of the poem misfiring mean. When a car backfires and makes a loud puffing noise, antenatal means before birth, possibly suggesting being undeveloped. The apparent struggle to walk properly. It describes a grotesque, slovenly way of walking. Inhuman means without any human feelings or features, without compassion for misery or suffering, being cruel, an almost non-human class of being, omnivorous, indiscriminate, greedy, very hungry, omnivorous understanding, having a complete understanding of mystic imagination, spiritual, magical, the inner self mystic inside, having an insight into the mysteries of the world that transcends ordinary human knowledge. Ice block laughter, laugh contemptuously with the intention of making fun of someone, not taking into consideration how it makes that person feel. Thawed, melted, unfrozen, become more inclusive and less hostile, meek, humble, submissive, awe, wonder, astonishment, surprise about the poet. Gabriel Imomotimi Okara was born on 21 April 1921 and died on 25 March 2019. He was a Nigerian poet and novelist who was born in Bumaundi in Nigeria. He is considered one of the founders of modern African literature and received numerous awards for his writing. He was recognized as a brilliant literary craftsman. His modern approach changed African poetry. In his writing, Okara focused on the African religion, folklore, and imagery. A recurrent theme in his writing is the confrontation between the ancient culture of Africa and that of the modern Western culture, colonialism and racism. About the poem. The poem depicts the pain of an African man being discredited and laughed at by a European colonialist for his mannerisms and beliefs, in fact, for his way of life. The blacks were laughed at, made fun of, by the white man for the way they walked, their songs, and their spiritual beliefs. The African man is proud of his culture, his ancestry, and himself. He brings his culture into sharp contrast with that of the colonialist, who is presented as ignorant, uninformed, and arrogant. The white man considers himself to be superior to the blacks. He has no understanding or appreciation of the beauty of the natural world, the speaker's world, the world that shaped him. When the black man dances to the beat of drums, the white man laughs at him, gets into his car, and drives away, separating himself from nature and its healing influence too. The speaker views the white man as having a frozen inside, heart, and being dead, whereas the black man's life is full of color and vibrance. This man's laughter becomes frozen. His insides, his voice, his ears, his eyes, and his tongue are all frozen. He has no sensory awareness of the world. In contrast, the local African people are warm, caring, and alive to the world. It is this fire in the black man that brings about the moment of transformation in the white man's life. His arrogance and laughter are turned into humility. He finally understands that the Africans and their ancestors belong to the earth, that they have been and are shaped by this contact with the earth, and not the other way round. Poem paraphrased. Stanza 1. To you my song is a malfunctioning car, stopping with a sputter, and you make fun of me. Stanza 2. To you, my walk was unnatural, which your mind didn't understand, and you ridiculed me. Stanza 3. You made fun of my song and the way I walked. Stanza 4. I danced my captivating dance to the rhythm of the drum, but you looked away and made fun of me. Stanza 5. I shared my knowledge of the world far and wide, but you got into your car and made fun of me. Stanza 6. You ridiculed my dance and who I am. Stanza 7. But the way you make fun of me is cold, and it froze your inner being. Stanza 8. Now, it's my turn to laugh, but I do not do it to make fun of you. That is not who I am. Stanza 9. My laughter is the sun, the earth's core, the heat of the air, the sea and all its inhabitants, and it melts away your iciness. Stanza 10. Then you ask me how that is possible, and I tell you, because my fathers and I are owned by the living warmth of the earth through our naked feet. Type. It is a lyrical poem as it relates the personal experiences of the speaker. The poem is a satiric, dramatic monologue presented in free verse. It can also be seen as protest poetry, since the poet criticizes the Eurocentric view that Africans are primitive and inferior to white people. The poem aims at bringing insight concerning black people's beliefs, traditions, and culture. Structure. The poem is written in 10 stanzas of varying length. It is written in free verse, it has no set rhyme scheme, and is presented from a first person's point of view. A great deal of repetition and enjambment is used for dramatic effect. In the last stanza, written in direct speech, there is an actual conversation between the white settler and the speaker. Title. The title is effective, as it is exactly what the poem is about: the mocking or humiliation of the black speaker by the white colonialist, European laughing at him and making fun of him. The repetition of "you laughed" shows just how cruel and mocking the white man is about the speaker's African way of living and his being. The laughter goes on, as indicated by the repetition in the title. It becomes crueler every time it is repeated. It causes hurt upon hurt. These laughter lines are the longest in the poem and dominate the structure of the poem. That is, until they are thawed, softened as a result of warmth by the speaker, introducing a complete change in attitude. Then the ice-cold laughter stopped. Themes. Racism. The white colonialists are prejudiced towards the Africans and treat them as if they were inferior. Cultural differences and the negative effects of the lack of understanding or communication between people. Communication. The poem starts out showing a lack of communication between the black and white people, mainly because of the prejudice of the whites. This communication is restored in stanza 9 and 10. Materialism, as portrayed by the white colonialists. Pride. The speaker, an African, is proud of his heritage, which shows a close connection to the earth. Laughter is at the heart of the poem. It runs through the poem as a symbol of both mockery, the colonizer, and joy and healing, the speaker. Nature and its healing qualities, tone and mood. The poem starts off on an arrogant, hurtful tone. The speaker is clearly hurt by the mocking, offensive way in which the white colonialists treat the Africans. The speaker's tone is one of pride in his African heritage. This closer connection to the earth has made him react in a more natural and respectful way to the arrogant, materialistic, and insensitive white colonialists. The speaker is hurt by the colonialists' mocking attitude, but he is unable to become as offensive and arrogant as the colonialists. He attributes this to his close connection to the earth and nature. The poem ends on a sense of hope that there can be reconciliation and transformation through proper communication. The final part of the poem has a quiet tone as the European is humbled by the warmth and energetic and inspirational nature of the speaker. Line-by-line analysis. Stanza 1. Line 1. In your ears my song. Line 2. Is motorcar misfiring? Line 3. Stopping with a choking cough. Line 4. And you laughed and laughed and laughed. The way in which the white man perceives the speaker is sensory. In this stanza, the poet uses the sense of hearing. The use of your and my in line 1 immediately emphasizes the difference. Contrast between the way the colonists and the African people interpret the African songs sung by the African songs. The difference. Speaker. These songs form an integral part of the African culture, and they are used as an expression of their deepest emotions. They find them uplifting and encouraging. However, the European does not see, or rather hear, these sounds, words as a song. He hears only harsh, loud sounds, something he classifies as an awkward, uneducated voice. Metaphor. To the white person, the sound of the African song sounds harsh and unpleasant, like a car that misfires. A car misfires when one or more of its cylinders do not produce enough power. An engine that misfires makes a loud popping or banging sound as it backfires. From there, the reference to choking cough. Personification. Comparing the harsh, popping or cracking sound the misfiring car makes to a person coughing. The car is metaphorical of the materialistic, technological attitude, thinking of the European. It refers to the modern, more superior world he believes he is part of, in contrast to the inferior, underdeveloped world the speaker and his song represents. The last line repeats and builds on the title. It will be repeated 4 more times in this form, and the word laughed itself will be repeated more frequently. This repetition emphasizes the continuous build-up of laughter and effectively portrays the criticism of the white people's insulting, hurtful, and arrogant attitude. Stanza 2. Line 5. In your eyes, my auntie. Line 6. Natal walk was inhuman. Passing. Line 7. Your omnivorous understanding. Line 8. And you laughed and laughed and laughed. The sensory sense has moved to sight, eyes. The white person views, criticizes the way the speaker walks. Metaphor. Ante. Natal walk. In this metaphor, the speaker is mocked for the way he walks. Antenatal means before birth, possibly suggesting being undeveloped. It describes a grotesque, slovenly way of walking. This image emphasizes the fact that he views the speaker as immature and uncivilized, lacking normal human qualities. The white man sees the way African people walk as an immature, uncivilized way of walking. Breaking up the word anti-natal emphasizes the sense of something broken or incomplete even further. It creates an image of a person that is not fully human or fully developed yet. This idea is highlighted by the use of the word inhuman, is literally having no or lacking normal human qualities. These words carry over the colonialist racism and feeling of domination, supremacy. Passing shows that he indiscriminately and openly